it all started, when I was 9. My mom was so particular about, our teeth. And my dad was also very, very particular about it. Like, I like your teeth, just want it clean. In fact, I think I'm like that too, because I'm like that with my kids. Anyways, so we went to the dentist, so my mom just complained to the dentist that when it seems like, she, they have some their teeth and maybe are not really aligned. I want to be really aligned. Anyways, I went to the dentist that day, and I saw my teeth and just told I can't tell my mom told me afterwards, and this was based on after the incident of me breaking my teeth, right? And she okay. Anyway, so we got back. And then my mom said, let me go and play with, let me see my friend, my neighbor, right? Because we share a fence, right? So our house is on the next fence, right? And then she went and of course, we were because we were friends with our own, son. And then I think we were playing police and thief that day, So this is where by you find that some people are thieves, right? And then there's just one guy that has to try catch the thieves. Anyways, I was a thief, right? So like I believe my mom's friend was the guy, the boy, he was the police, so like he was the one chasing us around. Anyways, to cut the long story short, I believe that I remember that I was on a very high platform, right? Because there's these stairs that you need to climb up, and then you have the door, so you needed to climb up, right? And the stairs were about, let's say, 4 or 5 feet high, yeah, pretty much 4 so like it was pretty high. And then I was on that, and what happens is that we usually jump most of the time. We try and jump, and I was about 9, I was about 5 feet, or even 4, 5 and thereabouts. So he was about to catch me, and then I think I just moved on. Anyways, I jumped and I hit my teeth on the floor. And as I hit my teeth on the floor, I saw my boss. My teeth has broken. Mommy said that our teeth. Anyways, so I think my brother called my mom. My mom was hey, God, and we just went to the dentist today. Oh. The dentist said that, we should be careful with your teeth, that it is shaky, that it should not break. Why is it that it's today that we went to the dentist that, your teeth are broken? And I was just, just wondering, okay, so what's the big deal, right? The teeth will grow. Why are we making such a big deal about this? But I didn't know, I didn't grow my permanent teeth, and then, it wasn't going to grow anymore. And I remember picking the pieces, and I'm like, no, but this is the pieces of the teeth now. Let's fix it back. This was a time where, there was no. Now you can literally say you want to file your teeth or fill your teeth. But at that time, it wasn't something we were exposed to. It wasn't something we knew that was even possible. At that point, it was, oh my God, that's the end. Destroy your teeth forever. If you break your teeth, that's the end. You have destroyed your life forever. That was it. That was it. And I was like, oh my God, right? And then, of course, we went home, and then, of course, my mom said, okay, give her, paracetamol. She had broken her 2 front teeth. I'll try and share the teeth, if I feel led into. Because I find that, most of the people tell me that, I didn't even know your teeth wasn't broken, and I'll share, a part of that inside as well. So I got home, and then, the house and mind at the time, she used to help my mom. At that time, we used to call them mates, but now, it's more minder. Anyways, the house minder was like, Titi, she's not more fine anymore. That people will laugh at her in school. Look at her teeth has broken. And at that point, I was 9. I'd never heard anything about body issues. I'm like, okay, it's a big deal. Okay, fine. So that means that people shouldn't see my teeth. Like, oh, okay. And I can tell you that from that point in time, when I got to school, because that was like a Saturday or so, when I got to school on Monday, I was so mindful about people seeing my teeth. And really, from that point in time, I can't remember how I lost myself. From that point, I literally lost myself. I didn't want people to see my teeth, so I found that I was speaking less. I wasn't talking more. I wasn't so confident as I used to be, right? And I can remember there was a time where there was this thing that they used to do back in school, and then it was the finest girl in school. I was never part of them. They never chose me. So all of that just added to the fact that, oh, what a very ugly girl, because her teeth are broken. And I can remember, I always told myself that, only if my teeth was perfect, only if, I could just fix my teeth, right? I'll be beautiful, be amongst, the beautiful girls in school, and I didn't know that, I didn't know what I was going through at that point in time, right? I didn't even know that, down in the line, I had developed body dysmorphia. I didn't know. These were things that were just going through my mind, right? At the time, I didn't even know what I was going through. These were things I was just telling myself. And my confidence began to really, really drop. Looking back at it, I just felt like other people were finer and better than me. More beautiful than I am. And I can remember that when I got to secondary school, right, I was happy to be in a new environment, but it was different, right? This was the environment where people had began to sort of make fun of people, and I can remember as I began to grow, there were so many things. I can remember when I grew, right, when I began to literally just grow and literally develop as an adolescent. I went to say so many things, but I couldn't say it because I was like, if there are some men watching this. Anyways, I had begun to grow, and my bum had begun to grow. But what happened in my bum at the time was, according to what people began to see was like, oh this bum is a bit down. It's not colossal, it's not up, it's a bit down. And I can remember, that was like that literally even added to all my worries and my concerns, right? Even about me. I had some friends say that, oh it is silent, they will laugh at me, like maybe when I can know a particular friend of mine, and I'm saying it's not to even sort of judge anybody, because I also made fun of people. So I'm not saying this to make anybody feel like, oh, why it is you are the reason why I had body issues. No, the person that made me have body image issues was the devil. The devil is the real enemy, not anyone. Anyways, back into my story. I remember there was a time, I upset a girl so much. She just said, only this Sally, and I was like, only this Sally or she or something like that. I was like, that thing pained me. But anyways, I found that, I was just, we're making fun of people. I made fun of people, they made fun of, there was a particular guy that said, that, I had the turkey legs. Hey God, that one too was part of it. But anyways, all of this literally just added to everything. And I remember there was a point in my life where, I also began to develop acne. So it was, more of a face thing. I didn't like my face anymore. I was trying everything to sort of, clear, the acne. It's now that, we have lots of, products. Then, it was literally, I didn't really have access to so many things. So, personal, reasons. I just, wasn't, it wasn't something that, I could easily get or, afford at the time, right? Because, I had some, family, concerns too. So like I was, just, I had to develop, all this, like literally grow by myself, right? And so like I had to do these things, I had to, struggle to find what can I use to, stop this acne, because, it was no more about the teeth. Now it was now about, acne. At some point, it became about my lips. I can remember, there was a time that, they used to say that, I think I had some family and friends, family, then they'll just say, you guys are your family, you guys have big lips. A little memory, you guys have big lips. I'm like, hey, so all of that literally, and I'm not saying this, to because they might watch it. I'm not saying this to make anyone feel like, oh, why, you were the cause, right? That these were things that we used to say. I used to make fun of people to so, and all those things were casual slangs, but those slangs were literally costing people, their confidence and self-esteem. And that's why, I'm doing a video like this, expose those, useless slangs. And like these were things that, we will just make in fun of people. But what you find that those things we were saying to people at that time. And that's what, you begin to see that the real enemy, because we didn't know what we were doing, right? And then you begin to see that, the real enemy was not even the pit, it was the devil. It was, the enemy, the devil actually. I want to mention it, the devil. It was actually the devil that was, behind all of this. Anyways, so like those were, the additional things that began to, really pull back to me, like really make me feel like, oh, okay, you're not beautiful, you're not this. I have people say that, oh, wow, she's a beautiful girl, but, in my mind, I'm like, oh, I needed to have the perfect teeth. I needed to have, smaller lips. I can remember there was a time in my life where I'll begin to burn my lips because I just wanted to look, smaller. I didn't used to smile. I just started. And what I found was, moving like with my life, right? I found that one, I, didn't used to talk a lot around people. I didn't even notice that I'd stopped, right? I didn't used to talk a lot around people, but what I noticed that people began to say was, I didn't even know this girl used to talk. And I'm like, I talk now, but what I found was I only spoke around people that I was comfortable with or people that were my friends. So you find my friends and saying that, oh no, she talks. But of course they didn't know that, outside I didn't used to talk because on my own, I felt like, they would laugh at me because of my teeth. And then I began to stammer too. Like there was this stammering thing. Of course we had people say da 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 da. All those things were there, right? And looking back, I realized that these were things that these were systems. So good. These were systems that or these are systems that the enemy has put in place already. So it makes it look as if we're smiling and then we're saying some things about people. You have coconut in you don't know, see your lips. Guess what? See your leg. Those things were affecting us. Those things were destroying our self-esteem and confidence. Those things were making us feel ugly. Those things were making us feel inadequate, like we weren't perfect enough. And what you find in all of this is once the devil has created that system alone. I'm saying all of this just let people that feel like, oh well, this person said this same thing to me, because this person said this and that is why I don't like myself. No, you need to understand that these are systems that have been passed from generation to generation, and we need to be very intentional to identify these systems. They come in form of slangs. We say that that is big mouth, or you say that broken teeth. Or you say that coconut head, the person's head is like the shape of what's called guava, or coconut, right? Hard like coconut, big like a box. These are things that we used to make fun of ourselves. Oh no, let's say turkey legs. Like these were things that we used to say casually. But guess what? These things had serious implications. Like if you literally speak to someone now, how do you feel about your body? You find that if they were literally supposed to trace it back and realize that it started from when we were young. This is like also a call to parents. We need to be very, very intentional about the things that we're saying about our kids, right? In fact, in my mind now, I'm just beginning to identify some things that it feels like I am also saying that I need to stop. And then this is literally a call. These are systems. Once like demonic systems, structures that have already been placed. One of the things you find is that the devil is so sneaky, right? it makes it look as if it wants us to believe that it's a myth. And guess what? That we find that these things that we say, we feel like it's funny. It originated from me. No, it didn't originate from me. People have been saying it back. It just brought it, like, people have been saying it over the years. It just brought it to you. It was not your invention. It was carefully crafted to what? Destroy the other person. And people say that so why what's the devil's what is the devil's what does the devil stand to benefit? Guess what? If you don't like yourself, right, and you have something that God has placed on the inside of you, for example, you're meant to be a preacher. If you don't like yourself, you'll be so worried and scared about what people think about you, and you're not going to stand up and share the word with people. If, for example, you're meant to be a prophet, right? Because you're so worried about how you look like, you're not going to want people to see you. You're not even going to come and stand there. The fact that I'm even standing here, talking, it says a lot. It says a lot. Right? It says a lot about the fact that I now love myself so much. This has been in my mind, but one of the things I said when I was doing this video is, I just wanted the Holy Spirit to just give me utterance, but I was just going to share, but one of the things that God just put in my mind is when I was talking about slangs. I didn't want to talk about it, but I'm just going to talk about it. It was I did a video about yummy mom slang. That's a slang. It sounds cool, but it's not cool. It's just literally meant to make we moms or moms feel inadequate. You have slangs like, oh my, the guy is breath. The guy is six-pack guy. That's a slang. It's cool. But guess what? It makes someone that is not six-packed, feel inadequate. And guess what? That six-pack doesn't mean that person is happy, or the person runs a successful business, or the person who has a successful relationship, or a marriage that is working, or does not. These are standards. These things are deep. But I just want us to really, really get the essence of these things, and why we need to begin to think about the things that we're adopting and how we're thinking about ourselves. It doesn't benefit you in the long run. It benefits the devil. You're not happy. You don't like you. You don't like yourself. You're falling into this system of I need to follow, like I need to follow this standard. I was watching a video the other day, and a lady was talking about the fact that she had to do BBL, right? And I'm not really sure of the full meaning, but I just know it's about expanding our bones. And she was just talking about the fact that when she did it, she maybe fell sick, and then and it was just a lot. I think she did it with a quack doctor. So, and it just you find that in essence, right, she didn't like herself anymore. She wanted to kill herself, even after she had spent so much money doing the BBL. And then you find that the confidence part, like, it didn't make her feel better. Like, these are like serious hormonal issues that really destroy us. It doesn't make you better. I was watching an interview of Black in China, and then she was talking about the fact that she had to remove all of those things that because she's not a Christian, right? And then she got baptized and all. And one of the things that she was saying is that those things were not like they weren't so she wanted to remove it because like she felt like the Holy Spirit was telling her that she didn't need to have all of those. So but then one of the things that she shared that was so profound, and it's funny that when it hasn't even gone viral, she said that when she used to take those things, like when she did the surgery, and then she had all of the fillers, the breast implants, the bump and all of that. What she found was that she said she had she was always depressed, she wasn't happy, and she said that every time she posted those things on her page, right, like they did those things for her for free. That is the surgeries she did were free. They wanted her to post. So those things were free. The fillers were free. The implants, everything was free. Because why? They wanted people. And then she said that she never really spent a dime on the body. And that takes me to my own personal story. And what you find was that from that issue of having the Titilade to all of that, what I found was I subconsciously began to change what I was wearing. Right, I always hid behind the fashion idea of having slim and waist, and having things anyways. I was always covering my bum, and in my mind I was like, I was just so I was literally always just wearing flared things for those that knew me in school. I always had flared skirts, and it was nice, right? But overall it was also in some way serving was some of the insecurities I was going through, right? And that was the bum issue. So I always wanted to wear that. I didn't want to wear tight things. I always felt like it would always attract I just didn't want people looking at me, and not because I didn't want people looking at me, but I didn't want people looking at me because I felt like they would also notice that I had a down bum at the time. Like that was literally what was going on in my head. So you find that I didn't like to wear tight things. Like these were things I was going through. But beyond all of this, I began to find that confidence was zero. I was stammering. And now I'm speaking, I can even say sentence, right, without even stammering. I can remember there was a time in my life, I think it was about 2 years ago, I was opening the last, I was like, God, when will I start saying a word without even stammering? When will I say a word without drawing my words? Oh my God. And I'm so, I'm looking back and I'm like, oh my God, we're really talking, Like there was a time I was like, God, and look how these people, speaking so well. I want to speak that way. So I found that everything just began to really expand. It moved started from the teeth to the lips to acne to wanting to speak well. The confidence was just all over the place. My self-esteem was down. I realized that I began to really suffer from what's it called, BDD. In fact, it was most recently I realized that everything I was going through then was embodied dysmorphia. And at that point in time, guess who all of this really affected me? I wasn't happy. I can remember, I'd like to share, my MBGN story. And I'm sharing this because I was someone that, grew up, people telling me that, Agbani Darego. So Agbani Darego was like, the first, Nigerian to win Miss World. So I remember that year when she won, I think it was like 2000 or 2001, they kept saying, Agbani Darego, because I was really tall and all of that. And, they always told me I was Agbani Darego. So when I got to uni, right, so one of my uncles, just said that, Titi, why don't you go for MBGN? Right? Yes. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. Right? And then, he bought the form. And I can remember, when I went there, and then, I entered a new level of, insecurity. At that point in my life, I was like, I wanted to, so that was the time where, Brazilian hair was all over the place. I couldn't afford it. My friends couldn't afford it. So it was fine. Right? So, I always just, worked with what I had. And that was the time of Brazilian hair, and I didn't have it. Anyways, I can remember, with the way the enemy planned it, right, I went to meet some lady. And I was like, girl, so now, you have, been modeling for a while. And modeling was like the in thing then, it was, now it's more of, TikTok, but then it was, you have to become a model or nothing, you had to be. Anyways, I wanted to become a model because, and people kept saying, no, you're slim, you can't, but guess what? With all those slimness, I struggled. I couldn't even walk in the midst of people. Like I was just, I always hid behind this word shy, and that was when I began to realize that is what a stronghold, a principality on its own. I'm not shy. That's a principality. Anyways, I was hiding behind that. I'm shy. I'm shy, but I was not shy. I was just, feeling with confidence, but the enemy gave us a word, shy. Anyways, I went to meet this lady, and she told me that one of the things that I feel like they like in MBGN, most beautiful girl in Nigeria, is they want people to have, Brazilian hair, nice and makeup, nice nails. And these were things I didn't have. So I spoke to, a senior friend of mine, and then she was like, oh, okay, fine, so she made me a blouse, she made me a skirt, right? Her name is Onyeka, so she made me a blouse, she made me a skirt, and then she was like, this is really good, you should. So my mom always told me that when I pack my hair back like designer, I always look very beautiful. I was like, and that's what I was going to do because I didn't have Brazilian hair, I didn't have all of those. But guess what? That was another, another spiritual attack